Now, a word used in the Bible that has always resonated with me that King Solomon talked about was this word, vanity, particularly when used by the richest man that ever walked the face of the earth. And I think he summed up rightly this idea of stockpiling money, only, in his case, and in many cases of savers I meet, to realize that he couldn't take this stuff with him and would one day, here's the point, folks, have to leave it to somebody who could potentially blow it all. In other words, whether you have a little or a lot, in the end, I would agree with King Solomon, it's all vanity. Or as I like to say, none of this is real. This notion of acquiring and enjoying things is particularly interesting when you consider how much debt we Americans rack up in the process, a practice of basically spending money we sometimes don't have and then paying interest to the one we borrow it from. Of course, we do this, hopefully, to enjoy more of our money, but still, it can be a problem. You see, the problem with debt is it adds to the vanity and fails to address the biggest issue of them all. Why would we ever borrow money and pay interest to someone else knowing it will cost us dearly, unless, of course, the thing we borrow money for does in fact somehow save us money in the process, increase our net worth, maybe give us an asset that we really do need to borrow money for, such as a car, but only sometimes borrowing can help us in that area. But even if it can help us, even if borrowing money from others can create more assets for us in the future, I've discovered, like Solomon, if all we're doing is accumulating more and more stuff with no plans on how we're going to spend it before we die, then yep, we prove once again that it's all vanity. You know, Jesus warned of this practice of stockpiling money for the future, where in Luke chapter 12, verses 17 through 19, he shares the vanity of creating more wealth with no plans to spend it and what ensues in the process. There's a guy, apparently, who has more stuff than he knows what to do with, and instead of getting rid of this stuff, what does he do? Well, he builds bigger barns to store it in. Can anyone say stockpiling money in your 401k plan with no plans to use it? And yes, that 401k plan, folks, is a debt. You may not believe me, but it's called taxes. Now, the result, before he can use his money, back to the guy building the bigger barns, guess what? He dies. Game over, and thus another example of vanity, or as I like to remind people, none of this is real. But Tony, you say, I don't have any debt. I'm retired. I'm debt-free. Is this message really for me? Well, friend, again, assuming you do have a 401k, IRA, TSP, 403b, or some other tax-infested retirement savings plan, yes, this message is for you because whether you want to acknowledge it or not, you're in debt. Maybe not to a bank, but you are in debt to Uncle Sam. Do this. Call up your broker or your 401 custodian and test the waters on this. Tell them to liquidate entirely your 401k and just send you a check. Then watch how much of this money is really yours. What you'll find is all that money you thought you had in your 401k, nope, part of that is Uncle Sam's. It's the taxes you're going to owe on it. And worse yet, if you die with this tax-infested 401k, the taxes get passed off to your kids, proving again that none of this is real. So what is King Solomon and Jesus Christ reminding us of here? We are all in debt in some form or fashion. None of this money is 100% ours because in the end, we or our kids are more than likely going to be saddled with debt, which is more reason to view this money for what it truly is, nothing real but simply a commodity created by man, which can allow us to use and enjoy our money before it's too late. The sooner we go about enjoying the fruits of our labor, the more we're going to worry less about money. And that's some good news. And it's really good news if you practice what I'm preaching here, news you and I can take to the bank. Amen?
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed that video. If you'd like, check out these other clips. And be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button for more videos.